Aloha everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Easy Cooking here at the University of beautiful Hawaii at Manoa. My name is Shanae and I'm a dietetics student, and today I'm going to show you how to prepare a delicious Asian flavor recipe using Opakapaka paired with a refreshing cucumber relish. Now, Opakapaka is a Hawaiian word and it means pink snapper. And as you all probably know, fish is an excellent source of lean protein and omega-3, which is the good fat for your body. But it's also an essential fat, which means you can only get it from your diet. So this dish is not only delicious, or ono as we say here in Hawaii, it is also very nutritious. Okay, so before we start, let's go ahead and preheat the oven because we're going to bake the fish whole. So it is going to take a little bit more time, but it's going to be so good. And most importantly, let's go and wash our hands. So I'll meet you back here and we'll start the marinade. Let's go ahead and put the marinade together. This actually is the secret to the recipe. So let's start combining everything. And we're using shoyu or soy sauce. Shoyu we call it here in Hawaii. And this is going to be a substitute for salt because we're not using any salt today, and so is the oyster sauce. And now just a little bit of warning on the chili. I love chili and I love everything very spicy, but when you handle the chili you want to make sure that you don't touch any part of your body because it will be excruciatingly painful. So if you don't like heat, I suggest that you use maybe red bell pepper or take out some of the membrane or the white part. Okay, so I'm adding the garlic, and what I'm also adding is I'm adding little sticks of ginger because I think that it really adds a nice flavor to it, but it's an option, you don't have to do it. And here I have some basil and Chinese parsley or cilantro, and I'm just going to add again a little handful into the marinade because again it just adds so much more aroma and flavor. And just go ahead and give it a little stir. Grab your fish. Now for this dish, I did mention that you do need foil and you do need a baking dish to hold the fish in. Because this is easy cooking, I thought that the foil would be easier to cook in, but to clean up as well. This is an Opakapaka, and I know that it's fresh because the eye is really bright and clear, and when you touch it, it bounces back, it's very firm and it's shiny, and most of all, it doesn't smell like fish. And it's also been cleaned, scaled, gutted, and scored. And basically they're like little slits down the body about maybe an inch apart on both sides, and that's to ensure that this flavor is going to infuse evenly and that also the cooking is going to be even as well. So we're going to just go ahead and start putting the marinade on the fish. Make sure that you get it into the little slits that you've made. And this is going to be so good. It smells so wonderful. Again, this marinade is so versatile. You can use it for chicken as well and as for beef, but you do want to let it sit for a few hours in your fridge if you're going to do so. And also this does take a little bit longer, so if you want to use filet, that's absolutely okay. By cooking this way, the foil is also going to help the fish simmer in its own juices. It's kind of a steaming method, but we're actually baking it. One other thing about Opakapaka is that it's really high in vitamin B3, B6, and B12, which are crucial in maintaining your nervous system. So this really is good for you. Okay, make sure you get the belly part, the inside of the belly. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create like a tent-like structure. So you want to just loosely crinkle the top, like so, and fold in the sides. And that way it gives the fish enough room inside to steam. We already have the oven preheated at 375. It's going to take about 40 minutes. So we're going to set it for 40 minutes. This serves about maybe 2 to 4 people depending on your appetite. And also it weighs about maybe just shy 1.5 pounds. Okay, now let's make the cucumber relish. This really is so refreshing and it pairs really well with not only fish but anything else, and it serves as a great salsa. So go ahead and we're going to just throw everything in the blender. And again, we're using a little bit of chili here and some vinegar and a little bit of parsley, some oil. I'm using canola oil. You can use any oil, olive oil or peanut oil or even grapeseed oil. It's really your preference. So let's go ahead and close it up. Give it a little pulse. And then let it go. Make sure you have the lid closed. You don't want a huge mess. And then we're ready to go with the chili. So go ahead and put it in a bowl and we'll just wait for our fish. Our fish is finally done. It smells so good. Now make sure that you don't burn yourself now. There's a lot of steam, as you can see, coming out from this foil. I want to try and use this as a vessel because, like I mentioned before, it's easy cleaning as well, right? So you just want to be really careful, and there's a lot of steam coming out, so stay clear of it. And look at that, we got our fish. You don't want to use this baking sheet to serve on your table, so let's go ahead and put it on a plate. And I have one right here. There we go. And there you have it, folks. Beautifully baked Opakapaka. It smells so good. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some of the parsley and the basil that we had pre-cut, just as a final touch. Look at that. Wonderful. How good does that look? And then of course, we can't go without presentation. So I have some lemon wedges. I'm just gonna pop it right inside. Why not, right? Just because it's easy doesn't mean it can't look good. So here we go. Now I have here our relish, and I prepared ahead of time some steamed vegetables. And you know what? This takes about 40-45 minutes, again, depending on your fish size. I'm gonna go ahead and plate everything because the final test is always the taste. In Hawaii, we use a scooper to serve the rice. It just makes it really fun. And it, I guess, controls somewhat of the serving size. So this is probably a dish that you can do on a weekend because, again, at the time, but it's really simple. And the key, again, is the marinade. That really just brings out all of the flavor of the beautiful fish. And then if you're in a hurry, of course, use the fillets. If you choose to use the fillets, it probably cuts down the time in half. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take some of this fish because it just looks so beautiful. Look at that. It just comes right off the bone. And then I'm gonna take some, of course, this beautiful carrots and broccoli. And the carrots really has a naturally sweet flavor, so it pairs really well with everything else. Just gives that sweetness and a little bit of that saltiness and the sour. And then, of course, let's go ahead and put some of our relish on here. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That looks so yummy. Now I want to tell you something. Really, the key to healthy eating and being fit and staying healthy is really moderation. That really is the key and the secret. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be such a secret, but as long as you eat in moderation, you know, just say you want a steak one day with all the trimmings, go ahead and knock yourself out. But maybe the next day you want to have a light salad. And so that's really what it is. Just keep moving and eat in moderation. So here's the final test. Wow, that's so good. It has that fish sauce and that oyster and the soy sauce, and then paired with that cucumber and a little bit of spice. It's so good. Well, I had so much fun today. I hope you did too. And until next time, mahalo.